Today is day 131 of memorizing the entire Gospel of Luke until my wedding day. Today I memorized the passage where Peter denies Jesus 3 times, just as Jesus had prophesied earlier that night. Now I talked a bit about this a few days ago when I memorized those verses where Jesus told Peter that he was going to do this. But it got me thinking today just about the fact that Peter actually did this. Now, if you're familiar with any science fiction shows or movies that feature time travel, you'll know that they often have warnings about learning what happens in the future, because that may influence what you do and cause paradoxes. For example, learning when or how you die. But here we have an actual real-life instance of this happening. I don't know about you, but if I were Peter, I would try everything I could to avoid doing what Jesus said. But I guess a few things are worth noting. Firstly, Peter was incredibly sleep-deprived at this point, so his critical thinking was probably shaky at best. Secondly, he was alone, separated from Jesus and the other disciples at night, so probably incredibly anxious. And thirdly, we know that God often hides information from people, such as previously when Jesus predicted his crucifixion and resurrection, and God doesn't allow the disciples to understand what he meant until after it happened. In the same way, the verses here indicate that Peter only remembered what Jesus had told him after he had done it. And we should note that knowledge of a future choice doesn't make it any less of a choice on Peter's part. Just like having present knowledge of choices we made in the past doesn't mean we had no free will at the time. Jesus knew that Peter would deny him 3 times, and that telling Peter wouldn't change this fact. I think knowledge of the future is something somewhat beyond our understanding as temporal beings, although it's interesting to think about, as long as we don't miss the main message of the story, which is Peter's repentance and reconciliation with Jesus. God willing, I will see you tomorrow, and God bless.